Hey guys, so I'm going to throw up another video showcasing my GFisk Pelipper Meganium team. Today we were actually just one win short of reaching rank 9, which is mildly frustrating because there were some games that I had won in rank 8, but I wasn't credited for the win, and there were some other games where I didn't even get to see my opponent's teams yet, and I was instantly given the loss, so that's always fun. Again, I think Pelipper is wildly underestimated, and a lot of teams aren't prepared for it as a safe swap. Its ability to pull shields or maintain switch advantage is incredibly useful. I haven't been recording all of my fights. Like I said in the last video, I do like to play while I'm pooping, and I do not have a desktop in there, but maybe one day, I believe I have a set from rank 7. I think it's actually my first set from rank 7, because I remember the queue times were abysmal at first. And then just some assorted fights from rank 8 showcasing the team against a variety of different team comps. So hopefully I'll say at least a couple of useful things with my commentary. And yeah, enjoy the fights. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get into our first fight of the set here. I remember the queue times were especially bad. I ended up matching with the rank 6 after just having hit rank 7. But we got a lead Deoxys here, and I'm okay with this. I'm just going to go straight for the Earthquake. We're going to be taking a lot of damage from the counters, but we can't really be harmed by any of Deoxys' charge moves. So we'll see if this goes unshielded, and it does. My opponent swaps to Shiftry, and I have enough residual energy that I want to go for the Rock Slide here before I switch into Pelipper. So we'll see if it goes unshielded. It does. I'm going to swap to Pelipper now at this point in time. And we can take a Leaf Blade, so I'll let the first one go through. We'll see if he's got enough to double up, but I think we actually see him P-Tide. And Shiftry is so frail that I think at this health range it's going to take it out, and it does. So that's great for us. Deoxys comes back in, and I'm okay with Pelipper going down at this point in time. My opponent throws the Rock Slide, takes out the Pelipper. And I'm going to wait out the switch clock here and probably come back in with Stunfisk, yeah, because the Deoxys is at such a low health range that a single Rock Slide will take it out at this point in time, and we can't really be harmed by any of Deoxys' charge moves. So we'll go ahead and take 2 Psycho Boosts, it looks like, and we can throw the Rock Slide here. This will be taking out the Deoxys, and regardless of what's in the back, I'm going to insta-swap to Meganium. I think I saved it because I was expecting a Zoom Roll in the back. It turns out it's their own Meganium. And this isn't really any sort of riveting gameplay here. We're just going to be throwing Frenzy Plants at each other. And what I'm going to be trying to do here is I'm going to keep trying to throw Vine Whips as they throw their Frenzy Plants to see if I can sneak any extra ones in, like I did just right there. I'm not a huge fan of this mechanic in the game where myself or my opponent can manage to sneak in extra fast moves occasionally. But I am going to go for it when I think it is going to be beneficial, and it looks like it might have been here. My Meganium's IVs are really bad, so if we do see him P-Tie, I believe I will end up winning that. So all the shields have been burned at this point in time, and it's just going to be who reaches the next Frenzy Plant. Even if my Meganium goes down, I believe, depending on what cycle of Frenzy Plants my opponent was on, I could have reached the Rock Slide on my Stunfisk prior to it reaching another Frenzy Plant. I think I did have enough health to reach it. I may not have, but yeah, that's the first game there. Alright, second game here. We gotta get rid of our lock screen there. So we have a Toxicroak. This is not good for us. We're going to insta-swap to Pelipper. The swing attacks are going to start chunking away, and my opponent's staying in long enough for me to get a Weather Ball off, so this is fantastic for us. We're going to either cripple the Toxicroak or take a shield. We end up taking the shield, and now he's going to come in with his Umbreon. And foul plays, they do a decent amount. Pelipper is pretty frail. We'll let the first one go through. I'm going to build up to 2 Weather Balls here. And we'll throw the first one. See if it goes unshielded. That doesn't do too much to Umbreon. Umbreon is incredibly tanky. Throw another Weather Ball here, and we're slowly chipping away. At this point in time, I think I'm just going to let Pelipper go. We can get some farm on our Stunfisk actually, because the Snarls aren't going to be doing a lot of damage, and my thought process is that I'd rather build up energy against this thing than against the Toxicroak. We do have a shield advantage, so I'm going to load up on a lot of energy here before ultimately taking out the Umbreon, and then we'll have enough energy to hopefully pressure a shield with an Earthquake on the Toxicroak. So build up to almost 100 energy. That might have actually been 100 energy. And we throw the Rock Slide, we'll take out the Umbreon. I'm expecting the Toxicroak to come back in, which it does. It did have enough energy for a Mud Bomb. We're going to have to shield that, but we built up so much energy against the Umbreon that now I can throw an Earthquake here. This should be getting the last shield from the Toxicroak, and now I'm going to go into Meganium. And it's at half health. I believe this is almost Frenzy Plant range, if not Frenzy Plant range. We're going to have to shield at the Sludge Bomb here, and he's going to go into his Stunfisk in the back, but we do have a ton of energy. I'm going to go straight for the Frenzy Plant. I do need 2 charge moves to take it out, so there's no point in throwing the Earthquake. I just need to throw 2 Frenzy Plants. I can take a Rock Slide here, and you're going to build up a little bit of extra energy before throwing the second Frenzy Plant that'll take out the Stunfisk. And now I believe all we have to do is reach a Frenzy Plant against the Toxicroak, and that'll be taking it out. So good game there. Building up energy against the Umbreon is what secured the victory for us there. And the game's going to crash, so that's fantastic. Okay, game 3. We have Stunfisk on Altaria, and I love this lead. Altaria cannot really harm the Stunfisk whatsoever, so we're just going to sit here and throw some Rock Slides at it. I'm always fearful that my opponent's going to try and swap on my Rock Slides, and I want to make sure that they connect with the Altaria to either do a lot of damage or pressure a shield, so I farmed up a little bit more before throwing that one. My opponent's actually staying in here, which I'm totally fine with. We're going to keep throwing some Rock Slides, and it looks like the Altaria is basically in farm down range with Mud Shot. So again, don't need to shield anything. I'm just going to sit here and farm up some energy, and it looks like we're able to take it out before it reaches another Sky Attack. So now we're loaded up on energy. See what my opponent wants to come in with. It's a Medicham, and I'm going to try and bait out a shield with the Rock Slide. My opponent actually calls it, so great on them. Not going to be able to build up to the Earthquake in time. Counter's going to be doing too much damage, and we're at such a low health, so I'm going to throw a double Rock Slide here. Took a decent chunk out of the Medicham here, but we did get switch advantage, so I can come in with my Pelipper. And no need to shield the Ice Punch, it doesn't do that much damage. I'm going to throw a Weather Ball here, see if it grabs a shield. And it does not. So we're able to take out the Medicham. Let's see what's in the back. And oh my god, it's a Tropius. This is not good for us. Our Meganium has an absolutely terrible matchup against this thing. So we're going to have to try and trip away as much as we can with the Pelipper, but the Pelipper goes down because it is a Razor Leaf Tropius. The fact that it is Razor Leaf Tropius is good for us because our Meganium resists that and he won't get to charge moves as quickly, but what I need to do here is I need to let a Leaf Blade go through successfully on my Meganium. I need to hope that my opponent's going to bait, because if he grabs my last shield, he can just go for Aerial Ace, that terrible move, and take me out. So I need to hope that he's going to bait again, because he did build up a ton of energy here. If he'd grabbed that shield, he could have went straight for Aerial Ace and taken me out. So thankfully it is just a Leaf Blade. Now we can throw another Frenzy Plant, and we preserved a shield here. It's probably going to be a Leaf Blade again, and it's just going to be a race to the last charge move. So Meganium manages to take out the Tropius. What do all the cool kids say when this happens? Meganium, Tropius counter confirmed or something like that? Yep, so that happened. GG's there. Okay, going up against Boogie here. My boy Boogie. We got Stunfisk on Shadow Abomasnow. So this is a little scary for us. The damage from Shadow Abomasnow is actually enough to win lead against Stunfisk, but it looks like he's going to bail and go into Defense Deoxys. So we're going to go ahead and try and do some chip damage here, or pull a shield with Earthquake. And I go ahead and put in my Meganium here. And I have since come to learn that this team comp is very popular. Abomasnow lead, Psychic Safe Swap, and Azumarill in the back. So I believe this was the first time I came across this sort of team comp. So I should have gone in with Pelipper there. I had no way of knowing with certainty that it would be Azumarill in the back. But we managed to take out the DD. I throw an Earthquake here. It does the exact same damage as the Frenzy Plant against Abomasnow, so it really didn't matter. I wasn't going to get to 2 frenzies. We're going to come back in here with our Stunfisk. Probably going to take a charge move, Energy Ball. It does a lot of damage here. And he's going to reach a second charge move that we're going to have to shield. So now my opponent makes a great swap into Azumarill. and we end up throwing our Rock Slide at this thing instead. We're going to come in with our Pelipper, and it's not looking too good for us. We're down a shield, and our Stunfisk is almost dead. So we're going to take the play rough here, and I need to start pressuring these shields here. I'm worried that if I went for straight Hurricane, it was just going to get shielded, but my opponent knew I was going to bait. So now at this point in time, I'm forced to go straight Weather Ball, because if the Hurricane goes shield at this point in time, Pelipper's not going to have a lot of play. So we're just going to throw these off, hopefully get the shield. The Zoom Roll is getting quite low, so these Weather Balls are going to have to go shielded. Throw another one here. It's probably going to grab the last shield, and I need to make a sack swap, which I get. I had been counting the bubbles, I knew Play Rough was coming, but my opponent makes a beautiful undercharge here and comes back in with his Abomasnow to farm us down. Shields are gone. I come back in with Pelipper, who does win CMP against Abomasnow. It's just enough not to take it out. Had we taken out the Abomasnow there, I think we could have won. We would have outpaced the Azumarill to another Weather Ball, because it had just dumped its energy on the Stunfisk. But regardless, great game there. Okay, last fight of the set here. We have our Stunfisk on a, oh boy, it's this team, the Fabled Grasshole, and this is the version we like to see. We'd like to see Bashidon in the lead more so than Shadow Vic, although my team does still have play against Shadow Vic on the lead. So we're going to throw a Rock Slide here, soften it up a bit, and then go into Meganium. I believe it's just going to be taken out by a single Frenzy Plant at this point, and I'd rather save my Pelipper to do fast attack damage against the Shadow Victory Bell in the back, as opposed to my Meganium. Despite the fact that Meganium resists both Razor Leaf on this thing and the Shadow Victory Bell, I'd just rather line it up that way instead. So one of the Frenzy Plants went shielded, the second one did not, so we maintain switch advantage and we have a shield from our opponent, so we're looking like we're in great shape here. I'm going to throw off a quick Frenzy here before Meganium goes down to the Smackdowns. It goes unshielded, and we're going to come back in with our G-Fisk after waiting the timer out. Okay, G-Fisk comes back in, and oh boy, it's a Shadow Vic in the back, so swap the Pelipper. I'm going to grab a shield here with the Weather Ball. And we're going to do enough damage to this thing to be able to take it out with our Stunfisk quite comfortably. We can go ahead and shield this. And we're going to be able to get to a Rock Slide. Yeah, even if it is an Acid Spray, I really don't care that much. We're going to get to the Rock Slide before the Victory Bell gets to another charge move. And all we have to do is get to an Earthquake against the Bashidon. Save the shield for the Flamethrower here. Would have done a lot after that Acid Spray drop, but we can very comfortably reach the Earthquake. So that'll be a good game there. Not the biggest fan of the Grasshole teams, but my team is able to handle them. So that'll finish off the set. Nice 4-1. And now we're just going to get into some assorted rank 8 fights. Going up against Ricardo here. Stunfisk on Drifblim. So this is pretty good for us. I'm always worried when there's a lead flyer that my opponent's going to try and catch my Rock Slide onto their safe swap, which is exactly what they tried to do there, which is why I didn't throw my Rock Slide. Gonna go ahead and toss the Earthquake before swapping into our Meganium. That did a lot of damage there. Thank you Stunfisk for that. And we're going to eat a Foul Play here, build up some energy, and throw a Frenzy here at the Umbreon. It is about half HP, so this is going to do a lot of damage. We do end up grabbing the shield, so that's great for us. Probably going to eat the second Foul Play here and build up to another Frenzy Plant. I believe this will take out the Umbreon if it goes unshielded. And we do grab another shield, so we do have both shields from our opponent. We're looking quite nice. Gonna have to shield up this Foul Play so as not to lose all the energy we just saved up on our Meganium. And now the Umbreon will finally go down. We'll see what my opponent wants to come in with. And it's a Scrafty. So this is not a good situation. We had to let him farm us down, because if I insta-swapped the Pelipper, he could have just swapped into Drifblim to ensure that his Scrafty would be aligned with our Stunfisk, and that wouldn't be good. Gonna try to swap out. Didn't get there in time. Gonna go ahead and shield the Icy Wind here. Want to ensure Pelipper stays somewhat healthy. Finally get our Stunfisk in there. Gonna eat a charge move. It's an Icy Wind. And we're gonna start chucking Rock Slides at the Drifblim finally. What I'm slightly worried about is that our switch clocks are slightly misaligned. So I'm worried that my opponent after this charge move is going to be able to swap into their Scrafty and catch a Rock Slide. I don't want that, so I'm going to keep fast attacking. Does come in as expected. Problem is that the Earthquake is not going to do as much damage as anticipated because of the double Icy Wind debuff. Luckily we did store a Weather Ball on our Pelipper, and this will come close to knocking out the Scrafty. It's one wing attack away. And now the Drifblim is going to come back in. We can't quite reach the Weather Ball, but I don't believe this is enough energy for a Shadow Ball. We can live an Icy Wind, and even with the debuff, the Weather Ball should knock out the Drifblim. So very good game there. We'll get into our next game here. Okay, going up against Bryn Mystic. I'm not quite sure. So we have our Stunfisk on in Alolan Marowak lead. This is pretty good for us. And I really like having Pelipper for these Shift Tree safe swaps. I'm going to throw a Rock Slide here to try and soften it up or grab a shield. We do get a shield. Pelipper's good because the wing attacks do so much damage against the Shift Tree. It can take one Leaf Blade. You're going to have to shield any subsequent ones. But also given how frail Shift Tree is, Weather Ball does a decent chunk too. So I actually make a mistake here. I try and farm up some extra energy thinking I have time to do so. I absolutely do not. So I'm going to have to shield another Leaf Blade, sadly. Looks like we CMP tied there. I try and undercharge it a little bit, but Shift Tree's so frail it ends up knocking it out anyways. I'm just hoping I can get some extra farm. So I'm going to bait the Hurricane, throw a Weather Ball against this Ferrothorn coming in. Alolan Marowak obviously can't come in against without shields, knowing that I had energy. Can't quite get to the Hurricane, so that's upsetting. All this energy is going to go to waste. And we're going to have to come in with our Meganium, because that has a poor matchup against the Marowak. So just charging up to an Earthquake. I'm hoping this is running Power with Thunder, but it does have Flash Cannon. That's going to do a decent chunk to us. We do get the Earthquake off. And it's going to do a big chunk to Ferrothorn here. And they swap into Marowak. We're going to instant swap into our Stunfisk here. Go straight for that Earthquake. And this is pretty much GG at this point. But yeah, Pelipper for these Shift Tree safe swaps that I'm seeing becoming more common lately. I do enjoy throwing the Rock Slide, either grabbing the shield, softening it up, and then coming in with Pelipper and getting a decent amount of energy, almost enough for another Weather Ball usually, while also maintaining switch advantage. So just some quick cleanup here, and GG. Going up against Cloutpup here. Is a name that I saw on the Season 3 leaderboards near the very top quite often. We have our Stunfisk on Azumarill, not too great for us. A couple failed swaps there. Finally get our Pelipper out there. They're going to swap into Skarmory, so we're going to start throwing these Weather Balls, start chipping it down. Even if we lose switch advantage here, I'm okay with coming back in with our Stunfisk. I can load up on a decent amount of energy before ultimately taking it out with a Rock Slide. So I'm gonna let this go unshielded probably. Yep, looks like it. And we'll see if we can sneak in a last minute Weather Ball. And we can, which is great for us. We either win switch now at this point, or we grab a shield. We're gonna grab a shield, come in with our G-Fisk, and this is probably a Brave Bird because they're going to be within Rock Slide range regardless. We're gonna eat it up, build up some extra energy before throwing our Rock Slide. Okay, so we've saved some energy up on our Stunfisk. The Azumarill's going to come in. We're going to insta swap to Meganium, and the Azumarill's going to transform into a Spider Bug. And this is not so good for us. Our team is a bit weak to Galvantula in the back. It has that new move Lunge for our Meganium, and it just completely tears through the Pelipper, being double super effective with the Volt switches. So under normal circumstances, under not debuffed circumstances, we can take out a Galvantula with 2 Frenzy Plants. Unfortunately, after taking these lunges, it's just not going to do it. We're going to throw our second one here, and it's barely going to live. And if I sit in here any longer, I'm going to get lunged again. My opponent already knows I have to swap to Stunfisk, so insta swaps to a Zoom Roll. It's pretty much GG at this point. Gonna throw a Rock Slide just for formality's sake, I guess. Looks like they undercharge this Ice Beam a bit just to get some extra energy, but my Meganium's dry, I think at this point. It didn't really matter. So Stunfisk is gonna go down, and looks like he's got an Ice Beam here for our Meganium. We'll barely live, just to get bubbled down. So good game there. Galv in the back is not something I like to see. Galv on the lead is fantastic, but in the back is a bit problematic. Okay, going up against Chan Win here. Very good battler. We have our Stunfisk on... It's the mirror. I hate the mirror so much. It's funny because I matched with Chan a lot last season during Master Premier, and our Metagrosses were often aligned, and he would very frequently Meteor Mash bait. So I didn't want to shield this at first, but I chickened out. Thank goodness I did, because it was an Earthquake. So we can go ahead and throw an Earthquake of our own, and it goes unshielded, which is great for us. So we win the lead. We are down a shield though. Comes in with Shadow Machamp. I'm going to pressure a shield here with our own Earthquake, and then swap into Pelipper because our Stunfisk is relatively healthy. I'd like to preserve it. And I make a bit of a ballsy decision here, and I no-shield this. Even if this was a Rock Slide, I don't want to commit my shield this early in the match. I have no idea what he has in the back, but I'm hoping it's weak to Stunfisk, and it is a Frost Lass. It is weak to the Rock Slides on Stunfisk. But we're in a very good position at this point in time. I'm at another Weather Ball. We can just go ahead and shield this up. Even if it was a Rock Slide on the Machamp, I figured that because it was at half health that my Meganium could come in and get a lot of Vine Whip damage off because of the fact that it is the Shadow variant. This Cross Chop's not going to take us out, and we can very comfortably Frenzy Plant and take the win there. So GG's. Going up against Coca-Cola Special, we have our Stunfisk on Mawile. Not good. Not good at all. I don't know why I didn't insta-swap. I guess we're verifying that it is Fire Fang. I don't know why it wouldn't be. I remember this team. This is a very unique team. So we swapped into Pelipper. They swapped into a Charmer, Wigglytuff. And Pelipper is great because of how spammy it is with these Weather Balls. We're able to throw them very, very quickly. We got to 3 there before it was able to take us out. And it looks like they actually let the Wigglytuff go down, so we grab the shield and we have switch advantage. The problem is that I can't come in with Meganium here. I have to come with the Stunfisk. And I know this is a pup. I'm going to let it go through. And I need to land an Earthquake on this thing. So we're going to Rock Slide bait. Hopefully we grab the shield. And we do. So now we're free to go for Earthquake. Are we going to get there? We just barely do. So I'm thinking we're sitting pretty, because we have 2 shields for our Meganium. It's another Charmer in the back, so I was a little worried, but Whimsicott can't take 2 Frenzy Plants, so we're fine. But this is a very unique team. It's very refreshing coming across it. We get a bit of lag there. I was actually a little worried that the game was just going to lag out and or would lag to the point that my Meganium would just be dead. I take a screenshot at the end because of how close that was. Yeah, fun fight there. I think I ended up matching up with them a couple more times. They were running the same team. Very unique. I enjoy very unique teams like that. Okay, I believe this is our last fight, because I don't want this video going on forever. So we have Stunfisk on Azumarill. Not the greatest for us. I'm going to swap to Pelipper instantly, and I believe my opponent stays in this match. So we're going to build up to the Hurricane. I'll take whatever this is, and I'll see if they want to swap. No, it looks like they're still staying in. So we'll throw the Hurricane. It's either going to do a decent amount of damage or grab a shield. It does grab the shield. Looks like I'll go ahead and throw a Weather Ball there. I'm going to have to Frenzy Plant this thing regardless, so probably should have just built up to another Hurricane and threatened it to make it throw its energy. It does throw energy anyways. And takes out the Pelipper, so I'm going to wait out my switch clock here and come in with my Meganium. They're at an Ice Beam. I'm going to go ahead and shield this one up. And they swap out. It looks like they want to preserve their Azumarill since it's still at half health. I'm going to have to swap out, save my Meganium for that. So come into Stunfisk against this Ferrothorn. I'm going to throw straight Earthquake. See if they want to commit their shield. Does a big chunk, and we can take Power Whips, that's fine. Probably another Power Whip at this point. We can take another one. Really want to hang on to that shield for now. And I believe it's almost within Rock Slide range. I'm going to go for the Rock Slide here. It probably won't kill, but the subsequent Mud Shots will. So that's great for us. Zoomerl's probably going to come back in, and we're going to Insta-Swap into our Meganium. I'm going to build up some extra energy here. We're at 2 Frenzy Plants now, which is fantastic. And it looks like they let it go. They do have a Toxicroak in the back, so thank goodness we built up all that extra energy. Gonna bait the Earthquake here. It gets the shield, but now we can shield whatever this incoming move is. Even if it is a Mud Bomb, if he's going for the Wombo combo here, we are at our Earthquake, and this should take out the Toxicroak. So GG's there to my opponent. And that'll finish off the games.
Woo!
Yeah, I know. Okay, my wings are here. I'm not going to do a proper outro. You guys got one day left. Build a Pelipper. Use the Flying Toilet Seat. It's great. I promise.